Right, welcome back to another game of On-Base Baseball. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of On-Base Baseball. And in this game, we're going to head to Game 2 of the 1991 ALCS. Toronto won Game 1, 1-0. And you can find that video just before this one on the channel. It was a thrilling game. Toronto won in 11 innings, 1-0. So terrific ball game. And it should have a good one in this one as well. So let's go through the starting lineups for the Blue Jays. It'll be Devon White in center field leading off. Robbie Alomar is at second base. He's hitting second. Joe Carter in right is hitting third. John Olerud is at first base hitting fourth. Kelly Gruber gets a start at third base. He's hitting fifth. Candy Maldonado is in left hitting sixth. Rance Mulliniks is the DH. He's hitting seventh. Pat Borders with the start at catcher. He's hitting eighth. And Manuel Lee is the shortstop. He's hitting ninth. On the bump is Juan Guzman. Right-hander, can go 25 for his stamina. 3.16 FIP. Outstanding year for Juan Guzman. For the hometown Twins, it's Danny Gladden in left, leading off. Chuck Knobloch is at second base, hitting second. Kirby Puckett is in center field. He'll hit third. Kent Herbeck is the first baseman, hitting cleanup. Chili Davis is the DH, hitting fifth. Brian Harper is catching and hitting sixth. Shane Mack is in right. He'll hit seventh. Mike Pagliarulo is the third baseman, hitting eighth. And Greg Gagne is the shortstop, hitting in the 9-hole. Kevin Tapani is on the mound. Right-hander, can go 29 for his stamina, 3.49 FIP. So both pitchers coming off the same card here, and so that's why we have it set up the way that we do. All right, well, let's get this one going. This was played October 9th, 1991. Minnesota, the fans are waving the Homer Hankies, and the Metrodome, the Homer Dome, is rocking. And let's see if they can spur their team on to a win and tie this one up. Tapani to the mound. He will face off against White, Alomar, and Carter. This top five, it's a top six. That's pretty dangerous. That's a lot of big numbers there. So they didn't show it in game one. So we'll see if the bats come alive in game two. Tapani to Devon White. This is going to be a grounder, a little too hopper to the second baseman. No problem at second base, and that'll be Knobloch with a good throw to first and out number one. Brings up Robbie Alomar. 15 batting runs. 26 to him is going to be a base hit. That's a hit to left field. See if there's an error. Possible error on the play, but Gladden is a plus fielder, so no error on the pickup, and he is at first with a single. Let's go ahead and try to steal. 1-8, he makes it, and he is in there with the stolen base. And again, I'm going to try to steal third with him right off the bat. We have to drop his 8 to a 7. When you steal third, you subtract 1 from the run rating. So 1 to 7, he'll be safe at third. It's a 1, and he's in there with 2 stolen bases. He did that in game 1 as well. And just no chance for Brian Harper. All right, runner at third base, 1 out. Tapani to Joe Carter. This is going to be tap back to the pitcher. He's going to look the runner back at third, and that'll be 2 outs as he throws out Carter at first. John Olerud to the plate. He gets a hanger, and he bangs it out to left center field. This one is deep, but on the run, the catch is made by Dan Gladden at the warning track, and that'll be a fly out to left field. And that is going to be the end of the first. So Alomar gets to third base, but they can't bring him in. It's scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first. And Juan Guzman gets his first cracks at Gladden, Knobloch, and Puckett. 45, that's going to be a base knock into left center field. That's a long single, so because his speed is greater than 6, he's actually going to turn that gapper into a hustle double as he was ripping it coming right out of the gate. Brings up Chucky Knobloch. Knobloch, a -4. 24 to him is going to be either a double play or a strikeout. No double play in order here, so it'll be a strikeout swinging, and Knobloch is out number 1. A 12. This will be a little tapper that gets just past the pitcher. The only play is going to be to first base. the runner is going to move along to third. And so we have a runner at third base with 2 outs. And can Ken Herbeck come through with a big clutch hit in the first inning? A 46 to a 17 is going to be a line out or a pop out. This will be a line drive to the left fielder. So he hits it hard, but it stays up long enough for Maldonado to get to it, and that's going to be the end of the first inning. So we are scoreless after 1. Go to the top of the second. It'll be Kelly Gruber, Candy Maldonado, and Rance Mullenix. So this will be a 35 to Kelly Gruber. Gruber playing third base. A 35 is going to be a ground out, and that's going to go to short. No problem at short for Greg Gagne as he gets it over to Herbeck for out number 1. Maldonado to the plate for the first time in game number 2. 36, that's going to be poked out to left field. No problem, that'll stay up for Dan Gladden as he makes the catch in left field. 45 to Rance Mullenix is going to be a long single. He is only a 2-speed, so it's just going to be a base knock into center field. Puckett gets it back in, and that'll bring up Pat Borders with 1 on and 2 out. A 24 to him is going to be a strikeout looking. So Tapani gets the strikeout, his first K of the day, and that shuts down any rally in the second inning. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Chili Davis, Brian Harper, and Shane Mack for the Twins against Juan Guzman, right-hander, 316 FIP. Salty. 29, 12 to 29 is going to be a little tapper back to the mound. Guzman makes a good throw to first, and that'll be out number 1. Next up is Brian Harper. He's a +5. 25 to him will be a flyout with an error check. So that's poked down the left field line. Coming in hard on it is the left fielder, Maldonado, and he makes a fine running catch right at the line. And that'll be out number 2. Brings up Shane Mack. Mack gets a hold of this one, deep left field, sends Maldonado back to the wall, and he makes a fine catch again. And somebody get that man some oxygen. So, 3 up, 3 down, go the Twins in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third, Toronto up, or nobody's up, it's scoreless. And Toronto will send up Manuel Lee, Devo White, and Robbie Alomar. Minus 26 for Lee, so he's going to have a strikeout looking here. He's definitely in there for the old glove, not for his offense. Devon White bounced out to second in his first at-bat. 15 is going to be another grounder, this time to second base. A hot shot. Nice play by Chuck Knobloch as he gets down to one knee, throws it to first, and he'll make the play. Robbie Alomar, same fate as he bounces one to third. No problem at third for Pags as he makes a good throw across the diamond, and that's going to be out number 3. So we head to the bottom of the third inning, still no score. Tapani and Guzman locked in a battle. Let's see if the Twins can bring it. Bottom of the order, Pagliarulo, Gagne, and then Danny Gladden to the plates. 24 is going to be a strikeout as Pagliarulo swings through a breaking pitch. Brings up Greg Gagne. Gagne is also going to have the strikeout fate. All 56s are strikeouts, so all 24s are double player strikeouts, so some of these things go quickly because you just remember them. Dan Gladden to the plate. He doubled and got as far as third base in his first at-bat. He's going to hit another hustle double here as he rips one into the gap in right center field. You remember it was left center field the first time. But a 45 is a long single. That's to right center field. And he has a 7-speed, so he's going to turn that into a hustle double again. Puts himself in scoring position for Chuck Knobloch. Base hit will score the first run of the game. 44 is not going to be a base hit, but, oh, it will. That's a double into right center field as he pokes one. It one-hops the wall. And that is, he cruises into second base. No need to hustle into that one. But Chuck Knobloch encouraging the fans, raising his arms as the Twins take a 1-0 lead, and the Metrodome is rocking. 66 is going to come off of the pitcher card. That'll be a strikeout looking, as Guzman is going to get out of the inning. He strikes out the side, but in between he gives up a couple doubles in the first run of the game. We head to the top of the fourth. It is 1-0 Minnesota in game number 2. All right, heart of the order: Joe Carter, John Olerud, and Kelly Gruber. Tapani throws a sinker, and he gets a little bouncer to short. No problem at short for Gagne as he makes the throw across, and that'll take care of Carter in the fourth. Next up is John Olerud. He flied out to left in his first at bat. 46 is a line out or a pop out. This is going to be a pop up. So he pops it up to the second baseman, and he is an easy out for out number 2. Last chance for the Jays in the top of the fourth. A 26 to a 2 is a ground out. That's a scorcher to shortstop, but Gagne makes a good play over to Herbeck, and that's out number 3. 3 up, 3 down inning for Kevin Tapani, who is pitching with the lead right now. Next up is Herbeck, Davis, and Harper. Kent Herbeck lined out to left in his first at bat. He is going to strike out off of the pitcher's card here. That'll be strikeout number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Juan Guzman. Brings up Chili Davis. Davis grounded out to the pitcher's first time up. He's going to hit one to shortstop. No problem there. It's a slow roller, but Chili Davis a slow runner, and they get him at first base. Brings up Brian Harper. Harper flied out to left in his first at bat. 44 here is going to be a 2-bagger as he laces one into the right center field gap, and that gets all the way to the wall. Harper will be standing at second base. He's now 1 for 2. Brings up a dangerous Shane Mack. 23 batting runs. A 22, that's going to be ripped to dead center field. That's halfway up the wall, and the center fielder White's going to have to play that one off the wall, and that's back-to-back doubles again for the Twins, and that's going to score a run number 2. So double to center field for Shane Mack, and that brings up Mike Pagliarulo. Pagliarulo struck out in his first at bat. That's going to be his fate here as well, as Juan Guzman gets the strikeout for strikeout number 3, but he gives up 2 more doubles. All hits in the game have been doubles at this point for the Twins. They have 5 doubles and 2 runs and a crazy high slugging percentage. So we go to the top of the 5th inning. 2-0 is our score. Minnesota over Toronto. This is game 2 of the 91 ALCS, being played with the 1991 Pocket Edition of On Base Baseball. You can purchase that Pocket Edition by going to the link in the description, and wait until the end of this game though. You'll see. It'll still be there. Kenny Maldonado up. And then it'll be Molinix and Borders. Maldonado flew out to left in his first at bat. He's going to ground out to second here. No problem for Chuck Knobloch as he gets it over to first. Brings up Rance Molinix. He's 1 for 1. He's going to tap it back to the pitcher here. Pitcher bounces off the mound. Tapani makes a good throw to first, and that's going to be out number 2. 2 quick ones in the 5th, and make that 3 as we get a little bouncer to shortstop, and everybody on the infield playing pepper, and they get him at first base for a 1-2-3 inning. A couple of those, actually 3 1-2-3 innings in a row for Tapani as he's starting to cruise a little bit against this very difficult Toronto lineup. In the bottom of the 5th, it's going to be Gagne, Gladden, and Knobloch for the Twins. They're facing off against Juan Guzman. A 14 to a -5 is going to be a walk. So Gagne just a +5 running. I don't know. It's not fast enough for me. We're going to have a grounder. This one is tapped to the second baseman. The only play is going to be to first, so Alomar gets it over to first. The runner is going to move up on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring up Chuck Knobloch with a man in scoring position. 35 to a -4 is another ground out. This one back to the pitcher. The runner's going to hold at second base as Guzman looks him back. He's going to make a good throw to first, and the runner stays at second. Kirby Puckett with a chance to put another run on the board. A 25, though, is going to be a fly out to center field. We'll see if Devo White makes an error. It has to be a 1, and he does not make an error, and that's going to be Devon White with the catch. And that puts Coldwater on the thread. So we head to the top of the 6th. 2-0 is our score. Toronto looking to get back into this one. 6th and 7th inning, you can see they're going to be going through the heart of their lineup. Let's see if Tapani can continue his torrid pace here. Manuel Lee, Devon White, and Robbie Alomar. 56, that's going to be a strikeout for Lee. Tapani now with 3 Ks on the day. Brings up Devo White. He's grounded to second a couple of times. 23, chance for another one. Oh, but he hits it to third. He likes that left side of the infield, though. No error on the play. Good play at third by Pagliarulo, who makes a strong throw across the diamond to get the speedy Devon White. Brings up Robbie Alomar. A 13, that's going to be a grounder to first. Taking it to first himself is Kent Herbeck as he runs it to the bag, and that'll be out number 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Tapani, who is playing the hero here. With the Twins down 1-0 in the series, they are up 2-0 in this ball game and trying to get to the finish line here. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It will be Herbeck, Davis, and Harper for the Twins. And Kent Herbeck laces one down the left field line. That's going to roll all the way into the corner. That's a 2-bagger for Kent Herbeck as he cruises into second base standing up. He's 1 for 3 now. Brings up Chili Davis with a man in scoring position. 36 to Davis is going to be a walk. So honestly, not the worst thing in the world for Guzman as they set up the force play and the double play. Brian Harper to the plate. He doubled and scored in his last at bat. A 15 to a 5 is a base hit. So that's going to be hit to the right center field gap. And that pushes everybody up a base. Ken Herbeck runs at a 3, so we're not going to score him there. Do need to bring the infield in with nobody out and bases loaded. Shane Mack to the plate, who's super dangerous. He had an RBI double in his last at-bat, ripped one off of the center field wall. And so with the infield in, any double plays are going to go first to third. Any fielder's choices are going to go to home, and they'll cut down the runner at first. Any ground out with an error or with an arrow is going to go to first base, though, and a run will score. So that's could be a super big problem. 44 to a 23, that's a big problem as Guzman walks in a run. Give that RBI to Shane Mack, and it's now 3-0. Pagliarulo could break this one open. A 16, that's going to be a deep fly ball to center field. That drives Devon White all the way back to the wall. Everybody's going to move up on the play, including the runner at third. So that's going to turn into a sacrifice fly, and that'll be out number 1, just the first out of the inning. So on the sac fly, Chili Davis comes in, and all the runners move up. And we have runners at second and third with 1 out. Greg Gagne to the plate. It's now 4-0. 66, that's going to be a strikeout. So Guzman needed that in a pretty bad way. That'll be out number 2. And that sets up an opportunity here for Dan Gladden, a -12. He pokes a fly ball out to right field. That's no problem in right. Excuse me, for Joe Carter, who makes the catch and ends the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Twins. It's now 4-0 Twins in this game number 2 of the 91 ALCS. Excuse me. Next inning, we're going to have to replace Guzman, who's gone 6 innings, giving up 4 runs. Tapani, though, is cruising. He's at 18, 19, 20 batters. He can go 29 for his stamina. And Toronto, with this great offense, has not put up much resistance. Let's see what they can do here. This is the literal heart of the order: Carter, Olerud, and Gruber. And we've got Joe Carter, a 19. A 34 is a chance for a home run. If the D9 is a 5 or greater, it's a strikeout. It's a 4. And Joe Carter going mad bombs to left center field. And that's going to put Toronto on the board. Boy, that was a terrible... Man, there we go. So Carter with a home run to left. And that puts Toronto on the board. It's now 4-1. And John Olerud coming to the plate. First chance they've dinged the Kevin Tapani armor. And he comes back strong mentally and gets a strikeout of John Olerud, a bender down and away. And that's going to be out number 1. Next up, Kelly Gruber. He's a +2. 13 to him is going to be a ground out. That's hit hard, but right to the shortstop, Gagne. Gagne with a good throw across. And there are 2 outs in the inning with 1 in. Maldonado was a +6. So 46 to him is going to be a strikeout. So big time play by Tapani, who gives up the leadoff home run to Joe Carter. But comes back and gets in the next 3. So he is through 7 and not really close to his stamina yet. So he could potentially throw a complete game here. We'll see what goes on with that. Toronto needs to bring in a new pitcher right here. And let's see who we get. Let's go with Dwayne Ward. I noticed that he got into the actual game. He did not get into the game previously. So 5 and 174 fit. So we're facing the heart of the order here. Knobloch, Puckett, Herbeck, potentially Chili Davis. Let's bring in our best pitcher to face those guys and see if they can get to the 8th inning. Toronto down by 3. 4-1 is the score. It'll be Dwayne Ward facing off against Chuck Knobloch, who's a -4. 23 to him is a ground out that goes to second base. We'll check the error. No error on the play, as Robbie Alomar, smooth as silk, makes the play over to first. And that's out number 1. We think of Alomar as a great defender, but he was a -3 on his defense. Part of that defense rating is range, so that could be a part of it as well. We have Dwayne Ward against Kirby Puckett. Puckett is 0 for 3, and he's going to strike out here as he has just had really kind of a disastrous series. Hasn't done very much. Brings up Kent Herbeck. Herbeck also is going to get sat down with a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts in a row. A 1-2-3 inning for Dwayne Ward in the 7th, and he keeps the score at 4-1. Toronto is going to take their at bat against a tiring Kevin Tapani. We'll leave him in there. He can go 29. He's not even to 27 yet. So 27, 26, 25. He's at 24 batters and looking strong still. He did give up the home run the last inning to Joe Carter, which could be a portent of things to come. Don't know. But he's going to get Rance Mulliniks here, striking out looking. That'll be out number 1. Pat Borders to the plate. Borders is a -11. A 34 to him is going to be a base hit. That's into right field. And we'll see if there is an error on the pickup. There's not. So base hit to right. And the catcher is on with his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 3. Manuel Lee to the plate. We are going to go ahead and bunt here. So sack bunt, 1 or 2, he strikes out. Otherwise, it'll be good. And it is good. And he puts down the sacrifice. That'll move the runner up to second base. And we have 2 down, but Devo White to the plate. White is 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. Let's see if he can come through with a base hit. He cannot, as he strikes out looking. Doesn't like the call. But either way, it's going back to the dugout, and the top of the 8th is over. White had a chance to bring in a run there, but strikes out. And this is going to take us to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-1 is our score. Dwayne Ward, let's go ahead and leave him in there for one more inning. See if he gets in trouble. He'll face Chili Davis, Brian Harper, and Shane Mack, 3 tough hitters in the Twins lineup. Chili Davis gets one out over the middle of the plate. He drives it to deep right center field. On the run is Devon White, and he makes a fine running catch just before the wall. And that's going to be a simple F8. Harper to the plate. He's going to strike out looking as Dwayne Ward racks up another K. He's got 3 in an inning and 2/3. And a 46-23. That'll be a pop-up as he gets into his kitchen. That's a pop-up to third. No problem at third base for Kelly Gruber, who squeezes it for the 3rd out. So 2 1-2-3 innings for Dwayne Ward, who's come in and done the job in this game number 2 of keeping his team right in it. We are at 27-28 batters. We're going to let Tapani go, see if he can throw the complete game. He's up by 3 runs, and if he gets into any kind of trouble, we are going to bring in Rick Aguilera. 55-15 is going to be a strikeout. He gets another K. Tapani has had it working the entire game, and it'll be Joe Carter to the plate. Carter homered in his last at bat. This time he bounces one to Hopper to second. Tough play, but made, and that's going to be out number 2 as Knobloch gets it over to Kent Herbeck. The Homer Hankies are flying. The Twins are 1 out away from evening up this series at 1 apiece. In real life, they split at home. A little bit different. They won game 1 and lost game 2. So we'll see if they can hold on here. It's Olerud to the plate. He is 0 for 3. A 34, though, is good things. 34 is a chance for a home run or strikeout if it's a 5. It is a 5. Yeah, so that's going to be a strikeout, and it will be swinging as he takes a home run cut and comes up empty. And Kevin Tapani, with a 1-2-3 9th inning, shuts the door completely on the Blue Jays as he pitches a complete game. They win by a score of 4-1 and even the series. I'm just going to go ahead with this one here to Tapani. And let me put you on pause here, and I will come back with the final totals. All right, and we're back with the totals. Minnesota wins this one 4-1, evens the series at 1 apiece. And for Toronto, it's 1 run on 4 hits and no errors. For Minnesota, 4 runs on 7 hits and no errors. Had a home run here from Joe Carter and a big inning here with bases loaded, and wound up getting a bases loaded walk, then a sac fly, but pretty impressive for Guzman to hold it there. He did give up back-to-back innings with 2 doubles apiece, and that kind of gave us our first 2 runs here. For Kevin Tapani, he gets the win, 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 9 Ks. Stellar. For Juan Guzman, he takes a tough loss, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Dwayne Ward comes in for 2 innings and completely shuts down the Minnesota Twins. So this one will go to the Sky Dome in Toronto for Game 3. And we will see about putting that one on the air. Again, this is being played with the 1991 On-Base Baseball Pocket Edition, which you can purchase. You can see here the old Pocket Edition. You can purchase that at the link I will put in the description below. I'll put the link directly to the 91 season, and I'll also put the link to the Clark and Addison page at the Game Crafter, which is where you can buy the printed Pocket Editions. So it'll have the other seasons, 1980 and 1986. You can also purchase those. Same format, just different players from different seasons. And you get this really cool box here. So the whole season comes in this box. Looks just like this. It's the size of a tarot card, which is a little bit, you know, a typical poker playing card is like right there. But these are a little bit taller. It gives me a little bit more space to put bigger font, more players, and so just went with that. And basically you just untuck the box and it all kind of holds everything that you need. There's a little bit of sort of basic instructions in there, but you can also download the On-Base Baseball game guide whenever you purchase the game. You can also go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, go to the free section, and download the game guide at any point there as well. So you can see you can get all of the teams from 1991. I've gone through and proofed everything. There's a few errors on this deck, but there won't be any errors like that on the one that you purchase. So you get everything here. You get the you get all of the hitting game engine chart cards. These are the other pitcher chart cards. So if you're playing this with a PDF version, you would have a sheet that would have the game engine chart on it. I've just basically taken that and put it on to each individual card. So you just kind of have those cards up and switch those out whenever you need to switch out players and things like that. So it's a pretty good little system. We don't have any MVP level players in this game necessarily. Somebody got close. Somebody's a 26, 29. Chili Davis is a 29. Shane Mack is a 23. So they got pretty close. But this is your Barry Bonds type players from 1991. I'm just trying to think of who it would be that would have that level of batter. Paul Molitor, 1991 would have been there. Who else? Danny Tartable for the Royals had a 44.8. Ryan Sandberg in 91, 30. Frank Thomas, 65. So there's a few. Will Clark, there's a few guys that got up over 30. There's usually a handful. Jose Canseco, that was a big year for him. So there's usually a few guys every year, maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 who get over that 30 batting runs mark. You have to combine power, a lot of slugging, a lot of hitting, a lot of walks. So it's got to be, high OPS type players are going to get that 30 plus. And they're perennial sort of MVP type players. The ones I just called out to you are guys that you would be like, yeah, that makes sense. So we didn't use that in this game, but it is there. And we also have a pitcher hitting card here. So if you're playing the National League in a National League park, like if you played Minnesota and Atlanta, I don't know if they were doing in the National League park at that point, but if they were, if you wanted to do that, you could use the pitcher card. It's similar to this one, but not the same. You can see a home run on a 6 or greater. This one is a home run if the D9 is a 9. So there's a few differences here. If you really went through, the triple is on a 9. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few differences in here that you can see. So there's I want to say it's a 16% chance of getting a hit here. It's a 19 or so % chance of getting a hit here. I did the numbers on a Facebook post recently about how you can switch up and change things just by changing that D9. That really is when you're using it requires 2 D6s. You read the lowest number first, and then if you don't have a D9, which most people don't, you can use a D10 and just re-roll when it's a 10. You've seen me doing that throughout the game. So I just re-roll to keep that 1 to 9 because that's really what the game is based on. The percentages are based on that. If you do 1 to 10, it basically changes the percentages from 11% per roll, like per number, to 10%. So it's not a huge change, but it is a change when you start talking about the higher numbers. So if it's like a 77% chance, like a 3 or greater, that's a 77% chance. But if you were doing base 10, then it would be a 70% chance. So that would downgrade you just a little bit, every number that goes, every percentage as it goes up, you know, a 1 out of 9 is not a big deal because it's 11 or 10. But as you go to different, you know, 8 out of 9 is 88%. 8 out of 10 is only 80%. So it does change quite a bit as you go along. So, but you can play like that, or you can, some guys use the 0 as a trigger number into like special plays or something strange or odd or whatever. And you can do that with on-base baseball. Totally expected that you bring extra detail into the game when and where you want it, however you want it. This game is totally open to you. The game engine is completely, it's right here. You can see it. You can make changes to it. If you purchase the PDF game, you can literally write on each player's card, mark it out, and put something else so that, you know, maybe you want to add another home run to Frank Thomas because he's at 65 batting runs. Totally cool. It's whatever you want, man. And that's the whole point of the game, is for you to take what I've done and push it to wherever you want it to go. So whether it's fielding, base running, hitting, pitching, whatever you want, you can add specific details where you want to add. I've kept the game intentionally very vanilla. It plays great. You've just watched me play a game, and this is just sort of the base vanilla version of the game. But if you wanted to add in anything, you can, and that's the beauty of on-base baseball. Even with these cards here, you can just jot down little notes and say, when this guy comes up, you know, a 56 is going to be a home run. So just keep those notes to yourself, and if you ever want to share those with the gaming community, we've had people do that recently on the Facebook group. You can go to Facebook groups, search for Clark and Addison Gaming Company, answer a few questions, and then agree to the group rules. I'll let you in. It's a private group, so there's no spam. And in that space are people sharing, gamers are sharing their replays. They're sharing their homebrew rules for on-base. They're sharing any questions that they have about other games, or if you find an error on a particular game or a team or a card, let me know. And that's a fine forum. I'm not embarrassed by errors. You're talking about thousands and thousands of players. I'm probably going to make an error somewhere along the way. So you can point those out to me. I'll make those changes so that whoever purchases it from now on, you know, doesn't have to get that error. So that's helpful when guys point that out. And also, it's just community where you're going to find out what's going on with what I'm doing. And I'm always doing something, probably doing 2 or 3 somethings, really. And so what am I working on now? I'm working on 1977-78 up-tempo basketball. That's just in the testing phase, so that's probably going to come out pretty soon. That'll be my first 2-point, non-3-point season. So I've never done that before, so I'm really testing that one out to make sure that everything is okay. I'm also playing out this 91 ALCS, which is using these particular cards. I could do that. I have a roster sheet set. I have the actual carded set, the PDF carded set, which you can buy for $15, and you can get all of these players here plus everybody else who played on each team that season. Here you're only going to get up to 36 players, but if you buy the PDF set, you'll get the roster sheets, which have everybody on them. You'll also get every player carded who got into a game. And so you'll have to do the cutting and all the printing and everything like that. But the advantage of this is you purchase it, you can start playing. No cutting, no doing anything. So that's the advantage. And you pay $5 more for these. But if you want everybody and you're serious about doing a replay with every single player, and you want to have every single player, then you'll want to get the PDF. You can go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, click on the big green button if you're on a desktop at the top right, and that'll take you to all the games that we sell. It'll be kind of jumbled up and filtered by the latest ones, the latest seasons and games that have been published. But then you can look down the left-hand side and filter by free or different sports, or you can filter by the game titles themselves, and you can see what all is available. So you'll be able to find 1991 there. on the on-base section. So I got a lot of on-base seasons. I'm starting to port over the Game of Dice Baseball, which is super fun. I'll have to print some of those out and play a game. I haven't played a game of that here on the channel, on this channel, I don't think. I have an old Game of Dice Baseball channel that I've put some of those on, so you can look those up on YouTube. It's called the Game of Dice Baseball. It's super unique kind of take on things, a little bit like Play, where they do kind of a conditional, if this, then this, and else this. So kind of a conditional results chart. And then a lot of highlight rare, unusual plays, which is kind of a fun part of the game. And up-tempo basketball is good. Excuse me. It is a basketball game, kind of a mid-level basketball game. Play-by-play, but also quicker playing. And there's an up-tempo mode where you don't have to play using the individual players. You can just play where you roll off of a team card. So you use the team free throw and field goal percentages and stuff like that, as opposed to using each individual player's percentage, which you can do that. You can mix and match. You can do 1 quarter this way and do the rest of the game this way, or do 3 quarters in up-tempo mode and then start using the players in the 4th quarter if the game is close, something like that. So it's got a lot of cool things like scoring runs, and it's a little gamified, but it's also within the context of NBA basketball. And when you play it, it'll feel like you're watching a game. I mean, it's got a really nice flow and feel of basketball, kind of back and forth. Play action football is a football game, full play football game, play by play. It'll only take you a couple of hours once you get into, the feel and rolling the game and all the different rules and things that you have to do. Super fun, and also has a really good feel to it. There's a ton of variability in the game, just because you're using, sometimes you just have to roll the D6 or the D10 to get the yardage. And so it's like D10 plus 1. So you roll the D10, and whatever that is, you add 1 to it, and that's your yardage. So it could be as low as 2, or it could be as high as 11, or somewhere in between. So it's got a ton of variability. The game is super fun to play, and I've not had anybody play it who didn't like it, and so you can try that out as well. $20 gets you a whole season, full color cards with players and a player finder. I've recently updated that game so that it has smaller cards, so there's less printing, but also an updated kicking system, updated penalty system, updated. I put all 11 starters on offense and defense, so you have those guys and kind of reminisce with those. So really unique game, and a little bit different in the tabletop football space. And then the last one is Precision Baseball, which is a brand new game I released this season. 2023 and 2003 are out. The next one I'll do is 2024, I believe, the season that just ended. So I'm hoping to get that out sometime this winter, before spring training, and definitely before the next season starts. And then we'll see. That game can only go back as far as 2003, just because we're using like StatCast, really advanced statistics for that game. So it's not a game that can go back any farther than that, just because it's not possible for some of these statistics to have existed before. It will be totally guessing, and that's the game is about being as precise as possible, about describing every part of the game as precisely as possible. It's very detailed, but it also plays quite well. You can watch a game here. You can still play a game in an hour and 15 minutes, even with as much detail as there is in the game. Really, the detail comes in whenever you have runners on base. So that's once, if there are no runners on base, the game actually plays and flows quite easily, kind of like this does. I mean, if you have a strikeout or a walk or whatever, it's pretty easy. There's just a ground out with nobody on base. The only play is to first, right? You're just checking to see where did it go and was there an error. But with runners on base, now you're talking about some decisions that you need to make. When there are hits, you got to know the locations and stuff like that. So you just watch the videos. There's a whole playlist of it here. There is a tutorial series that I've been putting together. I think we're up to video number 12 or 13 or something like that in that. So you can sort of walk through the rule book, the guidebook, and each video takes you through a different section, a different play, a different part of the cards, just to be able to see, okay, that's what this means. This is how you do this. These are the situations where you need to remember to do this. And so I think it's super helpful, that tutorial series, especially if you're a visual learner and you look at the rule book and you're like, I don't know, I don't understand. I want to see it happen. So you can either watch me play or you can watch the tutorials or both, and you'll get a sense. Oh, okay. All right. I understand how that works now, because it does make sense. It's logical. It's, if you know baseball, it's totally logical to the way that the game is played, and just kind of takes you step by step through how to do different parts of the game. All right, I think that's enough from here. Go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, pick something up. Gift for you, gift for a friend, whatever you want to do. There's lots of different choices there. Just go and check it out. I really appreciate everybody's support. It's been a banner year for us, so probably twice as much, twice as many sales as we had last year, which was twice as many as the year before. And so I feel like everything is gaining momentum and growing, but it's because you are interested and invested, both with your money and your time and your comments and your just giving feedback on the games and helping them be better. Trying to build a really strong community here of gamers who are looking for something a little bit different than APA or Strat. So if that's you and you find yourself wanting to delve back into some of these great players from the past, especially the recent past, I think most of my games are going to focus on more recent seasons. I'm not that old, and so I don't reach back to the 50s or the 60s, unfortunately for some people. But that's just not my gamer era. My gamer era is the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, early 2000s, like that. That's my golden age of when I was growing up. Although I still love sports today, I watch everything. So 2024 does not turn me off, even with all the changes in baseball or changes in football or whatever. It does not turn me off. So if you're like that too, and you want someone who's just, trying to not downplay those seasons, but to actually represent them well, then maybe you should check out some of my games. So both NBA, Major League Baseball, the NFL. I'm looking at college football too as a port of play action football. So I have that. Obviously up tempo, trying to push back into the 70s a little bit. The ABA. I have the ABA. I have games that include the Negro Leagues. Not a lot of alternative leagues, but some there. And obviously with on-base baseball, you can get the DIY kit and do any era, any players that you want. These batting, defense, and speed have been attributed to every player in Major League Baseball history. That's one of the reasons that I did it. And these are actually, they are cross era, and they are ballpark adjusted. So when you see a guy who is a 30 batting runs, he is the same type of run producer in 2024 as 1924. So you can play these teams, you can play these players across eras. They kind of get to those numbers differently. So they used to hit more triples and doubles and stuff like that than home runs. But they are the same type of player. They're the same type of run producer. So that's, take that for what it's worth. You can play this cross era. It's built to be played cross era. So I don't know too many people that do that, but you certainly could do some sort of tournament across time between great teams or terrible teams or whatever, your favorite teams. So that would work just fine, and you wouldn't have to make any real adjustments. You could do different era game engine charts, or you could put them in modern day or whatever you want to do. It's pretty flexible kind of game. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, and leave a like, click that thumbs up, subscribe if you keep coming back here, and I'll notify you, or Facebook YouTube will notify you whenever there's new content posted. So just click on that subscribe. It also tells them this is really good content. Hey, show this to more people. And that's helpful for me. It's helpful for our community as we continue to grow what's happening around the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. And yeah, we'll keep pushing out more stuff. So stay tuned. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.